Today is Friday, 6th December 2024. It's Farmer's Day, and so when I woke up this morning, I decided that I was going to make tilapia peppers for my favorite bono man. And usually I have everything at home, but as of last night, I didn't have onions, and so I planned to buy onions on my way home from work. But as things would go, I left the office very early and the market was closed at the time I was coming. I couldn't get onions, and so when I woke up today, I still wanted to do the pepper soup, but I didn't have onions. And so I took money, about 120 Ghana cedis. I just took it. And I decided to take a quick walk through my neighborhood. You know, there are people who sell stuff like that. So I'm like, oh, I'm sure if I walk a few meters, I'll get some onions to buy. And I started walking. And after about 2.5 kilometers, I still hadn't found onions. And so I decided to just hop into a taxi and go to the other day market to get onions. The first taxi I flanked down, I was amazed that this taxi still works. So beat and so broken. Every single light on it was broken. But there were 3 people. And when I stopped the taxi, there was a lady at the front. She got out of the car. So I thought she had gotten to where she was going to alight. But then when I sat in the car, I realized that she passed the back and went to sit. Sorry, she went to sit at the back. And I honestly don't know why she did that. But I'm assuming that she was just being nice and wanted me to sit at the front. And if my assumption is correct, then I'm very grateful to God that there are people like her still in this world who are nice and kind even when they don't have to be, and who are humane. Slowly, human beings are forgetting how to be humane and kind. And it was very relieving to know that there are still people like that. And so fast forward, I got to the market. And of course, onion was the first thing it was the only thing on my list when I left home. But by the time I got to the market, being the typical woman, Rosie that I was, I had like 5 things on my list at this point. And I walked to the first onion seller. And she said the olonka of onion was 100 Ghana cedis. I was like, onions are that expensive now. I left her. And guess what? I went to the third person. And she said the olonka of onions was 70 Ghana cedis. Finally bargained to 65 Ghana cedis. The lesson here is that sometimes the first option may not be the best. You need to look for other options. Sometimes even the second option may still not be good enough. Sometimes it's your third or fourth or fifth option that is suitable for you. And so you shoot yourself in the foot when you stop at the first try or when you stop at the second try. Whatever it is that you are looking for, you can find it. You just need to be patient and to keep searching until you find that which you need or that which suits you. So I bought the onions, then I bought 1 or 2 other things, and I realized that the money was disappearing faster than I wanted it to. And I was like, see, I come before this. Person me talk salmon, person me talk banche. And I need to take a car back home. So I approached one of my customers, I shop there often. So there's this lady who is friends with me, and I was like, oh, I didn't even know I was going to come there. I was just walking through my neighborhood and I happened to be here in the market, and I seem to be running out of cash. So can she give me some money when I get home? I'll send. I didn't take my phones, nothing. I just left the house with the 120 cedis in my palm, not even a purse. I was clutching it like the way we used to clutch it as children. And she was like, oh, see, Hannah made me sick. And I was like, oh, it's okay, don't worry. You know the lesson here? Sometimes people will decline your help when you think that they are your last resort. Don't be bitter, don't be angry. Whenever you ask for help where you expect to get it and you don't get the help, just ask yourself, what other options do I have? Find another option or alternative, and don't begrudge the people who refuse you the help. I'll tell you why in a minute. And so I still had the 40 cedis in my palm. Then I spoke to myself. I said, Rosie, you want salmon, you want cassava. How much cassava do you need? It's only that man who eats fufu. And your children don't like. So some way, somehow, you can make this 40 cedis work. Right? Smart girl, figure it out. I spoke to myself. And if you are listening to me and you don't speak to yourself, then you are doing yourself a big disservice. I talk to myself all the time. And your children don't like. So some way, somehow, you can make this 40 cedis work. Right? Smart girl, figure it out. I spoke to myself. And if you are listening to me and you don't speak to yourself, then you are doing yourself a big disservice. I talk to myself all the time. I sit myself down and I talk to myself. Sometimes it is just me repeating what I need to do, or me giving myself advice. I talk to myself all the time. Learn the art of talking to yourself. Talk to yourself. And so I said those things to myself, and then I went back into the market and I bought salmon and I bought cassava. The cassava was 10 cedis. I told people that it's only 5 cedis I need. And I got somebody to sell cassava 5 cedis. And by the time I got to the roadside, I had 15 cedis in my hands. And I took the car back. Back to the woman who refused me help. Sometimes when people refuse you help, it is a good thing. If she had not refused me help, I wouldn't have found a way to make the money I have work. I needed to live within my budget at that time because that was all I had. And I was able to. And finally, when I got home, I had 8 cedis in my palm. Clutch like we used to do it as children. You can see the picture I inserted over there. And I was even like, oh, miniman kamito kruma. Oh, women, we are the same everywhere. And when I was coming back home, the taxi I took, halfway through the journey, the man just stopped and said, Madam, I'm going to be a for twice. Just like that too, like no explanation. He just stopped. There were 2 of us. I didn't say anything to him. I didn't argue. I didn't ask why. I just smiled at him and got out. And I started walking along the road. Not too long after that, a pragya came along. For those of you who don't know pragya, I'm going to insert one in this video. They are very common in Kaswa, all over the place. And I always wondered, what does it feel like to sit in a pragya? So today, for the very first time I sat in a pragya, I didn't have my phone, so I couldn't take a selfie video to show you. But finally, I got that adventure of sitting in a pragya. And that brought me to my junction, and I finally came home. And so this is summary. It's my United States of Kaswa Diaries on a beautiful Farmers Day Friday morning. Cheers to you. I hope you have taken note of the lessons I learned today. God bless you.